I lost 80 pounds using this meal plan. Looking for a faster and efficient way to lose weight for real? Well, it's all about the meal plan. This is by far the best meal plan I've used to date for steady, sustainable weight loss. If you want to know all the details of the meal plan I use to lose 80 pounds, then come on, I can't wait to tell you. First, I have to put this caveat out there. As much as I have come to enjoy exercising, more so picking up and putting down big things, lifting weights, relying on exercise too much or solely is not a wise move, in my opinion. There are too many variables that impact our ability to exercise. But eating, we do that every day without fail. No obstacles whatsoever. We get it in, right? Besides, exercise will not cover for a poor, insufficient diet. You may not want to hear that. I know I didn't when I was trying to once again have the ability to look down and see past my toes without straining my neck. Thus, it is imperative that we focus on our nutrition alongside our exercise efforts. I am a visual and auditory learner, so instead of me listing off a bunch of food items to eat, why don't I show you the way I ate that got me from my heaviest weight of 240 pounds to where I am today? One thing I had to do in order to see lasting success was ditch my insane efforts of looking for the next, newest, latest diet. I had to stop myself from falling for diet claims that promised fast results. I have purchased so many new diets and recipe books that claim to have the answer to what I was looking for, usually when I was feeling at my lowest. The claims, they sounded plausible, and I would fall for the hype time and time again and waste so much time and so much money. Now I get it. If it looks too good to be true, it is. With a great deal of trial and effort, I have come to realize that all the diets, they all work, and I've been on all of them. What I wasn't doing properly with any of those diets was consuming the right amount of macronutrients. Yeah, regardless of the diets we choose, macronutrient consumption has a great impact on the sustainability of our weight loss efforts. And you don't have to stop eating ice cream, bread, or any food unless it poses medical harm to you. I have broken up with carbs at one point a couple of times in my lifetime, thinking that was the key to weight loss, and it wasn't. You would do well to scroll past the ads in your social media feed that claim that they have the breakthrough of some superfood that will melt fat away. Only thing it is going to melt away is the balance in your bank account. In order for weight loss, it's really fat loss we're after. So by weight loss, I really mean fat loss. We have to construct our macronutrients in a way that places us in a slight caloric deficit overall while keeping us feeling energized. Eating in this way assists with our goal of lowering our body fat percentage. Maybe seeing a decrease in the number on the scale, because trust me, you can totally not see a decrease in the number on the scale and still be losing fat, especially if you are lifting weights where your waistline is getting slimmer, your clothes are fitting better, and you can still enjoy the foods that you like to eat. I like food, so if I don't like the foods that I have to eat when I'm trying to lose weight, maintain weight, or anything, I'm not sticking around long enough to see if it really works. I'm just not doing it. That's just for real. Eating from a micronutrient stance is by far a wonderful piece of the puzzle that has allowed me to stay consistent. Consistency? You're going to need consistency. Here's what I mean by micronutrients. Micronutrients are the percentage of proteins, fat, carbohydrates, and fiber we get to consume. Simple, right? The quest for weight loss and eating in a calorie deficit can sometimes have us wanting to see those results last week. We get impatient thinking if a slight deficit will have me losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, then why not go for a bigger deficit? Don't do it. See, when we eat less, our energy output is impacted. Couple that with exercises like lifting weights, we will not have enough energy fuel to properly support what we are trying to accomplish. That goes for just day-to-day activities. Even now, if I wanted to lean out for a special occasion or for a season, I aim for a smaller calorie deficit, decreasing my calorie intake by only a few hundred calories, 200, 250, right? 500 to 1,000. I'm not doing it. Too much of a calorie deficit shortchanges our energy, and my cravings, they become nonstop, and my mood, let's just say I'm not pleasant to be around. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Eating for weight loss became so much easier once I started paying attention to and being intentional with my protein intake. When I first started learning about macronutrients, I focused mostly on just like overall calories. I was getting in the right amount of calories for me, but I just didn't feel satisfied. So of course I started to think, well, the whole process isn't working, and I wanted to give up. Learn a little bit more, and woohoo, the light bulb came on. That's when I started to understand the protein connection. I observed that when I ate enough protein, I felt satiated. My muscles didn't feel as sore after a workout, or just in general, like my body felt like it was thriving. Weight loss without muscle retention, that's not a pretty look on me and on most people. And that's what happens when we do weight loss without sufficient protein intake. There are some days when I choose to consume less fat or carbohydrates, but you know what? My protein intake, I have learned that number gets to stay the same. I don't play around with that. Oh, and if you didn't realize it by now, eating with a focus on macronutrients allows you to eat the foods you want to eat. So if like dessert is your thing, if you're that kind of person, you get to have it. Savory, salty, that gets to stay. Like I said earlier, unless there is a medical condition involved or you know that you have no restraint around a food, gummy bears for me, then you can continue to consume those foods, even while losing weight. Before, when I would do a new diet, I would ban foods. I'll never eat that again, I swore. Only to have a couple of weeks. Sometimes I could go a month, right? Before I would find myself eventually eating that food that was off limit, and I would eat it in excess. I would feel defeated and give up and claim that, well, the diet didn't work. What didn't work was me. I wasn't doing what I needed to do at that time. The best diet for you, for me, is the one that will help us to live the best, healthiest version of ourselves, where we feel in control, have hormonal balance, and our cravings are manageable. If your diet isn't allowing you to do that, revise it. Right now, I am eating at my maintenance calories. I had to grab my journal so I could recall what I was eating during my weight loss journey. The macronutrient breakdown looks to be the same. The overall number of calories I ate then versus now, that is what has changed. Here's what my macronutrients look like. 30% of my calories consist of protein. 30% are fats and 40% are carbohydrates. That equals 100%, right? Yeah, that does. Yours could look like 35%, 40%, 25%. You get to structure your macronutrients as you see fit. I know I do better with more protein, so I keep that one on the higher side. You might want more fat. You could adjust your macronutrients to reflect that. My maintenance to stay where I am at this current weight is about 2,015 calories. If I wanted to look or be a little leaner, a good calorie deficit for me would be between 1,560 to 1,780 calories. This means 30% or 135 to 142 grams of my meals would consist of protein. 55 to 63 grams would be fat, and 165 up to 189, that would be carbohydrates roughly. That is what I would eat. I've noticed that the more I plan my meals, the easier it is for me to consume these amounts without going over my calorie limit, making weight loss and maintaining that weight loss so much more effective. In the beginning, I did use a food scale for a couple of weeks. It actually helped me to get a better sense of how much food those percentages actually look like. I am telling you, it was so eye-opening to recognize that, yeah, I was overestimating the serving sizes of so many of the foods that I was eating. And well, I mean, my expanding waistline was definitely proof of that, but to see it on the scale just solidified it. Not only was I overestimating my food portions when I was at my heaviest, I was also an inconsistent eater. There was no predictability to my eating patterns. I would eat breakfast at random times or not at all. Some days I would eat 3 meals, then other days 2 meals and way too many snacks. For weight fat loss, eating during predetermined time ranges, that helped me get ahead of being hangry and overeating. It also helped my mood and sustain my energy throughout the day. I had to break up with intermittent fasting and inconsistent eating. Now I routinely start my day with a cup of warm water with a little pinch of sea salt. I work out mostly in the mornings, so I have a small bite of something to eat, like a banana with some almond butter or 1 or 2 oatmeal protein pancakes with a little bit of almond butter to sort of fuel my energy for my workout. After my workout, I have a bowl of oatmeal with ghee, pumpkin butter, and turkey bacon. I kind of keep everything real simple and easy for myself. Lunch is usually a couple of pieces of grilled chicken thighs, jasmine rice, vegetables drizzled with toasted sesame seed oil. Such a lovely Asian flavor. If you're not using toasted sesame seed oil, ooh, Ooh, missing out. I tend to want to nosh on a little something later in the afternoon, so I have a handful of nuts with a cup of tea. Plus, it helps me make sure I'm getting in enough fiber for the day. Dinner is either chicken, turkey, or seafood, mostly salmon, green beans, and then there's roasted Japanese and regular sweet potatoes. How I so look forward to ending my day with that bowl of sweet potatoes. Oh, if you have not tried it, what are you waiting for? See, I told you that you can plan your meal to include the foods that you like. You believe me now, right? You've probably heard that carbs before bed is a no-no. For a long time, I was actually allowing myself to not have carbs before bed. And all I noticed was that I had subpar sleep, which actually works against us when we're trying to lose weight. Once I permitted myself to have carbs again at night, I noticed that carbs along this bedtime routine that you should watch next. Notice in my jaw, I'm a huge teeth grinder, and the pressure in the back of my head, it melts away, just instantly relaxes itself. Has me sleeping the best ever and no longer struggling to lose or maintain my weight. Eat well, stay active.